Welcome back to the podcast with me, Johnny Pardo. And today I welcome Steve Meeker to the show. And I'm excited to talk about Steve and his book, The Sixth Man Missing today. And touch on maybe some of Steve's other books as well. So the story of The Sixth Man Missing is the product of more than 3 years of investigation, interviews, surveys, and lots of research by Steve. The Sixth Man Missing illustrates the corrupt life of criminals. It is also a tragic story of wasted lives, unaltered choices, and the web of lies, weaknesses, and tragedies that underlie the so-called underworld society. So, Steve, welcome to the show today.
Thank
Glad
you.
to have you. So, Steve, I'd love to know a little bit behind what got you into writing this book and this topic in particular.
Well, I have people bring me stories, true stories that they want me to write, and I'm very particular stories that I pick to write. Always ask people, tell me two things that are absolutely true that I can back check you on. If I back check what you've told me and both of them are not true, I move on to the next book. Okay. If it is true, then I'll do more research. And at that point, I'll decide whether or not it would be a good story for my target audience, which is people who like true crime, written in a way in which it brings the reader into the book.
Mm. Okay, wow. So, yeah, it's how long have you been writing for?
Well, I started writing about 10, 15 years ago after I retired. And the first story I wrote, it was about a six-man missing, and or not six-man missing, but the story about one man escaped. It was about a story, true story about my great aunt Ida, that I heard the story when I was growing up as a kid. And I thought, boy, this would make a good story. And after retiring, I didn't have anything to do. So that's when I started.
And how do you find the writing process?
The writing process is the easy part. It's the research to verify and back check what was said, what was told. I go by actual facts, not hearsay. And that's the question. When you tell me something about the story and I prove it to be wrong, I move on because I can't believe anything from that point on. But if I find it true in research, then it's probably something I'll write about.
And when you start when you've done the research, when you start writing, do you find it's kind of like easy from there? Is it in flow? Do you ever have any sort of blocks when you're writing after that research?
Oh, I have several blocks. What did that guy say? Where did I find that information? I got to go back and review that because I want the facts to be uh, true as possible in the book.
Uh,
And writing, there's a lot of word processing tools out there. But what I do, I just sit down, turn my word processor on, and I just start talking. And then I edit from there and then edit some more. And oh, I forgot this and so forth. And but that's how I begin. And then I piece it together in the order in which the events took place.
so have you written anything outside of sort of like true crime as well?
I write children's books
Mm.
also.
Mm. And how did you get into like children's books?
I was approached by a good friend that's got three small children, and she says, I've read your true stories. I bet you could write me a children's book. And the name of the children's book is Charlie the Chicken Who Wore Glasses and His Best Friend Hank. And I've written 10 episodes. The first episode was Did Charlie Make It Home or Not? It's about a T-ball game. Another one, uh, drawing a picture of your best friend. And then there's another one, Counting Your Fingers. And the one that's going to come out next, those are all available on Amazon right now. The next one is going to come out probably sometime in February or March. Chicken Caught Speaking English.
Mm, I love that.
So I love doing it. It doesn't take long to write one, as long as you have a plot and it pertains to something about being a best friend.
Mm, mm. What do you mean by like best friend?
Okay, do you have a best friend?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you have a picture of your best friend in your wallet?
No, I don't.
No, you no. Okay, that's what Charlie said. So Charlie said to Hank, "Why don't we draw a picture of each other?" But there's one rule: we can't show each other's picture until we're both finished. But Hank wanted to break the rules, and it goes on from there.
Oh, wow. I love that. That's so creative. What kind of advice or guidance do you give to someone who they want to write a book that it's like been in their mind, but they're like, wow, the whole process seems overwhelming.
Well, my biggest challenge is being from a, small community. I rely on a couple people that edit my books.
Mm,
And so you got an idea, just start writing, scribble down. If you think of something, in the middle of the afternoon, just write it down and then develop that later on. Maybe over the weekend. But once you get your thoughts together and you think you're really got something, uh, find a good editor. Now, I have a person, the way this person edits, she doesn't start on the first page. She'll just open up the book and start reading that page.
wow,
And
random page.
yes, exactly. Okay. She's a good friend, but she is an evil editor. She really, really takes me to task.
Wow.
And that's what I like about it.
Oh, wow. Really kind of like up leveling your writing by challenging you, I guess.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
Like, are you sure that happened? Prove it. So I'll send her a document or something.
wow. Wow, really, a really like tough critic. So when you get it out to the world, oh, it's amazing. Is there like you've done like there's like true crime, you've done children's books. Is there like maybe another genre that you're thinking of writing in the future?
Not really.
Okay.
I like true crime. And the area where I live, it's called the Wabash Valley, Wabash River. You probably never heard of it, but it's called the Wabash Valley. It runs uh, north or south of Chicago, about an hour, all the way to the Evansville, Indiana, right down the Indiana-Illinois border. And it's called the Wabash Valley, and there's just tons of stories. And if you like true crime, there's a lot to write about. And the story about the six-man missing was a bank robbery in Clinton, Indiana,
Hmm.
and things went wrong the day that the five guys that robbed the bank. Uh, what I did in this story to bring the reader in is I asked the question, and I've surveyed over 600 people with the question I'm about to give you. Um, if you were a hitchhiker, uh, 1931, January 10th to be exact, when this happened, um, and you were walking along a US 36, and you spotted a bag in the ditch, and you were homeless. You needed shoes, you needed food, you needed shelter. You didn't have a bank account. You didn't have a job, and you didn't have a car. But when you looked in this bag, you found a sawed-off shotgun $800 in bank papers that could be traced back to the bank in Clinton, Indiana. What would you do with the gun, the money, and the papers? That survey question I asked again over 600 people. I did say you cannot call the police. I want something silly, funny, ridiculous, unbelievable, but you are a hitchhiker. And
Wow,
what would you do? And I've got in the book, I got the top 100 answers.
really? Wow.
Yes.
So those top 100 answers form the story.
Well, they form the story as far as what would you do if you were in that situation. The story is after they rob the bank, there's about 15 mistakes that the bandits made. After they got after they got captured, there were four people that were killed in the story, and it I spell out the first mistake, the second mistake, and so forth, and how it occurred. For example, the first mistake, the safe would not open. It was on a timer, and they did not know that.
Hmm.
Second mistake, they made a U-turn and went the wrong direction. Third mistake, they had a flat tire because they hit a car, and it goes on from there.
Wow. Sounds like you do an awful lot of research, like you've been saying, Steve, in terms of yeah understanding like what actually went on. Um, and do you enjoy that sort of the research? It sounds like you do.
Yes, I can find stuff under a rock you didn't even know was there.
Oh wow, powerful to kind of just to go out there and research it that way. How long did it take you to write the six man missing?
After I did all my research and all of my notes, and I had about six uh, uh, page or not six notebooks of notes, and I put it down at
Wow.
who gave me the information and all and tied all that stuff together. But it took me probably 6 to 7 months to write it, and then I turned it over to my. I have two editors, and I turned it over to the first editor, and they looked at it and said you need to fix this, and then I turned it over to uh, the lady that really edits for me, and she had it. I think probably 6 weeks, maybe 2 months before it was ready to go.
Hmm. Hmm. I love that. So how many books are there in total that you've written?
I've got three mysteries, and then I've got three children's books
Hmm.
that I have. I don't have anything scheduled or doing anything for the next book yet. I haven't decided what I'm going to do.
Hmm.
One book that I wrote, The Mystery of Flight 178, is about an airplane that when they took off, they had 22 passengers, but when it landed, it only had 21 passengers.
Hmm.
And I solved that mystery.
Hmm. Yeah. Love to know where the one person went. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Oh,
But it's based on factual information.
oh wow, that's powerful. So, oh, okay. So yeah, free crime sort of mysteries and then free children's books.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh,
And the fourth children's book, like I said, maybe February, March. My illustrator, uh, uh, he has a tight schedule, and I have to let him know what's going. Here's, for example, this one here. If you can see it,
mhm.
focus it in there. There it is. Whoops.
Yeah. If you're
There.
just listening, you can see this on YouTube as well. Got this
Let's see
one
if I can
here.
go back. There we go.
Oh, there we go. Charlie Chicken who wore glasses.
And his best friend Hank.
Yeah, and his best friend Hank.
Okay, and this is the story about drawing a picture of your best friend.
Hmm. That's the one we're talking about.
Yeah, yeah. Here's another one, counting your fingers. Let's see, there we
There you
go.
go.
There's that one there. Counting your fingers.
Counting your fingers.
What do you think that story's about?
Count
Have
is
you,
guessing it's
I have to ask you a question. Children like to believe everything somebody tells them, but sometimes you have to say, "Hey, that wasn't right." So I illustrate that by counting your fingers. Now I'm not there where I can count your fingers, but you think you've got 10 fingers, right? Fingers and thumbs, right?
yeah.
Okay. So what I want you to do, or maybe I can do it, I'm going to turn my hand over here. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, and 5 make 11. Do you believe that?
Wow.
I turn it this way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If I turn this hand over, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, and 5's 11. Do you believe that?
Wow. That's interesting.
So it's an illustration, and kids love illustrations.
Ah, I love it. Oh wow, powerful. Who would you say is your ideal reader? Because you've written some children's books and then you've written some obviously
Well,
true crime.
the ideal children is a family that has small children, probably 3, 4 years old, all the way up to probably 6, 7 years old. And they like these stories, okay?
Mm,
And there's always a theme behind it. The true mystery stories, if you like true mystery, every name in the book is real. The good guys, the bad guys, the judge, the jury, every name is true. And if I find a name, I'll go to the courthouse and find out where he lived, what he did, his occupation, so forth and so on. I research every person. And so if you're interested in a book that is true, I write it in a third person. I'm not there, but it's based on actual facts that occurred,
mm,
all the way to from birth to from the cradle to the grave.
mm,
Okay, the four people that died in this story, six men missing. I do a research how they died, what their occupation was. I do it all, and I tell you everything about them in the book.
mm, Got a lot of work behind it. What would you say is like your favorite part of the whole like writing process?
Uh, when somebody says to me, well, I just give you an example. A good friend of mine texted me last week, said, I didn't know you could do that and put that in words the way you do.
Mm,
Your research was right on. He says, I looked up a couple people and it was exactly what you said. And that's what makes me uh, feel real good about what I do.
receiving that back. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you say is maybe a challenge or two that's presented to you in the writing process?
Okay. Big challenge. When you're writing a true story and you want to get facts,
Mm,
you go to the courthouse and you want records, and the clerk at the courthouse says, I have no idea. They're probably in the basement, and we had a flood back in 1950 and we lost all those records. And I politely say to him, under the Information Fairness Act, you have to provide these for me. They're court records or court documents.
mm,
And I challenge them. That's the biggest challenge when a clerk at a courthouse doesn't want to put in the effort to find something you're looking for. And after maybe I call maybe the county councilman and talk to him about, hey, you guys have to provide this information. Uh, Somebody had a flood. I checked. There was no flood at that courthouse ever, 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 ever. And that was the excuse I was given. Can you fix that for me? Not a problem. And guess what? A week later, I got what I want.
oh wow.
Yeah. So you got to be persistent. That's
Mm,
the thing. People, Well, that happened in 1931. God, why would you want anything like that? I'm writing a story, a true story,
Mm,
and that's the big roadblock.
mm, but your persistence through it, I love how you're resourceful in
Right,
that case. Uh,
right.
you looked elsewhere. And that's very interesting. I didn't think that would be the blocker, but yeah, I guess yeah, you got what you wanted by that persistence.
Yes.
Through that.
And
So
it may be 2 months, 3 months, 6 months later that I get it. Yeah.
mm,
So now I do have a couple of friends who are attorneys. One of them is a research attorney, and I turn to him at the last minute if I can't find anything, and he's a better researcher than me,
no,
much better.
it's good to have that contact. I love that.
Yes,
That's awesome.
yes.
Ah, cool. Steve, have you got like when you're in the writing process, have you got like a typical like day in the life of what you be doing during like a writing process? Are you like writing in the morning? Are you sort of prefer writing in the evening?
I'm a morning person. I can get up at 4 a.m. in the morning and
Wow.
I can knock out 20, 30 pages before I have breakfast. And I'm on a roll. Uh, Come 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm done. I don't write in the evening at all. But during the day, weekend, or I'm at a sporting event and something pops into my mind, I'll jot a note down, make a recording on my phone, whatever, and I'll go back and check that. But the early morning is the best time. The house is quiet, nobody's bothering me.
Hmm. And do you, when you're sort of in the writing phase, do you write every day or do you take like breaks between days? How's it go
No,
for you?
I don't write every day. I don't write every day
Hmm.
because I'll write something and then I'll look at it 2 or 3 days later. I says, no, that's not right. I need to change this. I forgot to put that in and so forth. So
Hmm.
so it's a long process.
Hmm. So you write like maybe a few times a week and
Yeah, when I did the Six Man Missing, I probably wrote three times a week, and then I would whatever I wrote on Monday, I'd review that on Wednesday and probably rewrite it again, and then look at it over the weekend. Say, well, that looks pretty good. Wonder if she'd pass that. My editor what would she say about that? I said, no, she wouldn't lie. Oh, I misspelled that word, whatever. But it's just a long process, and I do a chapter at a time. When I'm happy with that chapter, I move on to the next.
hmm. How do you think of the chapters like what the chapters are going to be?
Well, in Six Man Missing, um, the story starts out. The gentleman is casing the bank for 2 weeks. That's where it starts.
Hmm.
Okay, and he runs into all kinds of problems, but he thinks he's got everything covered. When he finds out, when it really happens, he didn't realize that the big safe had a timer on it and it would not open. And that was a mistake. But he thought he knew everything. So, and that's how I started out. And then I tell them about their background, what they did before they robbed this bank. They're lifetime criminals. The bank right, they're all lifetime criminals. I had found a lot of research on them, all of them.
Hmm. How did it feel when you like finished the book and you published?
Well, after it was edited and I really thought, okay, I got this. Then I handed it to a couple of people and said, I want you to read this and tell me what you think. Okay. Uh, you can't hurt my feelings. I got big shoulders. And if you don't like it, tell me why. If you do like it, tell me why and be very specific about what you're telling me. And I do that because I want to make sure that my target audience is going to like it. And the two people I give it to, they like true mystery, they like a surprise, and there is a surprise in the book. They like a surprise, and it draws them in with the question, what would you do if you found a bag of money, a gun, and papers? What would you do with that if you were homeless? And they really like that. And I got some fantastic answers. You
Mm.
want to hear one?
Yeah, I love it.
Okay, I'm going to tell you the most obnoxious, most unrealistic answer I got. Um, I told the man it was a bank robbery and there was a high-speed chase. And at the shootout, the money was recovered. It was taken back to the bank. The bank counts the money. They're $800 short. That was January the 30th. December the 30th, 1930. Fast forward to January the 10th, 1931. You are a hitchhiker. You need shoes. You don't eat right. You don't have a job. You don't have money. You don't have a car, no bank account, and you find a gun in a bag with $800 and bank papers, deeds, and power of attorney. What would you do? He says, without even hesitating, I'd just take that gun and shoot myself. I don't need this world. That was his answer. That's ridiculous. But that's just one of the answers I got. But I got some really good ones.
Wow, some a lot of crazy answers. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. But that draws people in.
Draws people
And,
in
and
at the start, yeah.
yeah, and in the book, I ask you, there's a survey in there, and I ask you, what would you do?
Mm,
And you can write it down in the book, or you can write it on a piece of paper, and then find out later what really happened.
mm. What really happened? Ah, engaging. I love that. Teasing people into it. Oh, amazing, Steve. So,
That's a
Steve,
hook.
it is a
That's a hook.
hook. It's a hooking question. I love that. A hook to grab them in. Wow. So, Steve, I know you've got that's obviously your book, The Sixth Man Missing, and then you've got your other books, children's books, mystery books. So, yeah, love to hear as we kind of wrap up today where people can find your books. I believe on Amazon, The Sixth Man Missing.
Amazon, yeah. My web page is bookspreferred.com.
Hmm.
I don't know if you can see this or not, if that's going to come in or not, maybe not. It's bookspreferred.com,
Mm,
okay? And you'll find all my books there. One Man Escaped, Six Man Missing, and the children's books. And the other one is the Mystery of Flight 178. That's about the airplane, but
mm.
they're all on Amazon and you can find them. But if you go to my webpage, bookspreferred.com, that's BOOKSPREFERRED.com.
Yeah.
You'll find, and there's video there about two of the books. There's one about the airplane, and then there's one about the one man escaped. There's audio there. Uh, And I truly believe that One Man Escaped would be a great movie if someone was looking like Netflix or something. It's a true story, and it's a story about a man who shot his wife over a diamond ring. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Wow. Some very engaging, intriguing stories, Steve. At bookspreferred.com. You can find out more about that. And then, of course, you can
Yes,
grab Steve's books on Amazon as well.
yes.
So, Steve, I want to say a massive thank you for sharing your valuable insights as a writer and all about your books. Obviously, listener, take a chance to grab one of Steve's books so that you could actually get into the story yourself and experience Steve's adventure and Steve's amazing imagination combined with all the research and facts he's done. So, yeah, thank you, Steve, for coming on today.
Well, thank you for having me, and I hope your audience appreciates all my effort, and I hope they enjoy the books.
Absolutely. So, that concludes our episode for today. Remember to lead with your heart and not with fear.